Hey everybody, Dalek44 here, and tonight I'm going to review Doctor Who Series 9 Episode 1, The Magician's Apprentice. Now, one thing you may be wondering, or asking yourself at this point is, how come I'm not reviewing this as a regular Dalek44 review episode? Well, the simple fact is, I didn't really want to. I didn't really feel like making a review episode of this. To be honest, I really just wanted to get my honest opinions out there without any jokes or any references to anything like I would do in a review show. So this is just a straight up review, like no jokes, no piss taking or anything like that. It's just my honest opinions of the first episode of this year's Doctor Who series. And before you say anything, yes, it is quite a late review since the episode aired on Saturday, but I've been quite busy these past few days, so yeah, I'm just gonna get the review out now to let all the Whovians out there know my opinions of it. Excuse me. So yeah, my thoughts of The Magician's Apprentice. Well, it turned out to be better than I expected it to be. I mean, from the first 4 minutes of the episode before the opening titles, it really got me hooked in. I mean, we start off at this battlefield where people are running away in this battlefield and some guy's using a bow and arrow, and I wasn't really sure if that was a battlefield on Earth or a battlefield on another planet. And as soon as those biplanes showed up shooting lasers instead of bullets, then that hinted that it was definitely on an alien planet. And then we have this cut of a little boy in a field who's about to die at the hands of the hand mines. No pun intended. And some guy is like trying to tell him not to be scared and that if he moves then the hands will kill him, and then all of a sudden a hand grabs his leg and sucks him into the ground. Man, that was quite a jump scare for me. And yeah, it is kind of a cliche that it was the black guy who dies, because we all know that it's a horror movie cliche that the black man dies. I don't really know why they tend to do that in films, but it's just an old-fashioned cliche that the black one always dies, and I don't get why. You know, what have people got against the black guys? Anyway, and then this little boy is in danger of the hand mines, and he knows that if he moves even an inch, then he'll die. And then all of a sudden the Doctor and the TARDIS show up to save him, and the Doctor's very happy to save the boy, and even asks him his name, like, say, tell me the name of the boy who isn't going to die today. And as soon as the boy said, Davros, my name is Davros, I was literally stunned then. I was as surprised as the Doctor was in that episode. I mean, I literally did not see that reveal coming. Even though they did rumour it a few months before, that still really caught me by surprise. I mean, the child that the Doctor offered to save turned out to be the child of one of his greatest enemies. That's an awesome twist. And it was just those first few minutes from before the titles that really got me hooked into the episode. And the excitement doesn't stop there. I mean, after the opening titles we go to the space bar where Dorian used to work, and where Colony Sarf is going around asking for the location of the Doctor, and he like interrogates pretty much everyone in the bar, like all these different life forms from different planets. And there were a number of alien life forms in that bar who we've never seen before in the show, and are basically just there to like the Mos Eisley canteen from Star Wars. That's how I describe it. Just this cafe where loads of different species come together and have a drink and whatnot. And a number of the aliens from that canteen were all from the Russell T Davies era. Like, we saw an Ood, we saw a Hath, and we even saw cigarettes. That was a brilliant fan-pleasing moment for the Russell T Davies fans. Like, the people like myself who started watching Doctor Who from 2005 onwards. That was a really amazing fan-pleasing moment for us. And then when he doesn't get any answers, Colony Sarf goes to the Shadow Proclamation, which is the first time we've seen the Shadow Proclamation since Stolen Earth, and I just thought it was brilliant that we got to go back to the Shadow Proclamation, because, like I said, we haven't seen the Shadow Proclamation since the David Tennant era, and we got to see the leader of the proclamation and a Jadoon. Yeah, that was brilliant. Helmeted Jadoon. And even though it was a helmeted Jadoon, it was still awesome to see the Jadoons after so long. And it doesn't stop there. After visiting the Shadow Proclamation, Sark goes to the planet Khan to interrogate the Sisterhood of Khan to tell him where the Doctor is. And of course they don't tell him, and he sends them a message saying that Davos remembers. And I'm thinking, like, remembers what? And then we finally get the reveal of present-day Davos as a crippled man who's dying and who's like at his last breath and is desperate to see the Doctor again before he dies, and which is why he entrusted Colony Sarth with finding him. And then we cut to present-day Earth, where Clara Oswald is still at her teaching job, and then when a series of airplanes in the sky immediately stop, just like that, then I can't really click that well anyway. But as soon as a bunch of airplanes stop, then she knows that something's going on, and she contacts Kate Ledbridge Stewart at UNIT, and they analyse what could be causing these planes to stop in time. And then it's revealed that it's Missy trying to get their attention. And even though we knew Missy was going to appear in the episode, I just thought it was a brilliant way to reveal that it was Missy. Like her typing up on the computer screen saying like the lyrics to Hey Mickey, and then modifying it as she did in Death in Heaven to say Hey Missy. That was just brilliant. And Michelle Gomez as the Master, aka Missy, is still fantastic. She still got it. I mean, I think she's honestly one of the best Finns to come out of the episodes. I mean, she's hilarious and, of course, totally evil and all that jazz that we saw last year. And they meet up at this little diner where Missy is like telling Clara what's going on and like how no one, not even her, can find the Doctor. And then they use the confession dial that the Doctor left to track the Doctor's location, which is medieval England. Yeah, we got to go to a medieval England where the Doctor like comes out in a tournament with a tank and an electric guitar and sunglasses. That was just hilarious. That was a hilarious moment for me. And then when the Doctor is reunited with Clara and Missy, then their little reuniting is cut short by Colony Sarth when he follows Clara and Missy to find the Doctor. And then he almost instantly reveals that he's made up of several snakes, and his face is the main snake. Like when his snakes are all put up in the cloak, then it just reveals a human-like body, but it's clearly not human. And I find it amazing how he glides rather than walking. That's just really an amazing thing for Colony Sarth to glide instead of walk. And so then Colony Sarth takes the Doctor, Missy and Clara to a supposed space station where Davos is, because Davos wants to see the Doctor, as I mentioned. And then we come to one of the best moments in the episode, in my opinion, which was the Doctor's reunion with Davos. And yeah, the reunion between the Doctor and Davos. Yeah, for me, in the Davos stories, the moments with the Doctor and Davos talking are always the best ones. I especially love how Davos comments, like compliments the Doctor's new face, saying like, so much more like mine. And I think that might be the first time Davos ever complimented the Doctor's new appearance, because in the past he never really complimented them, I don't think. Because like, I don't remember what he said for like. I don't remember what he was saying for the Fifth Doctor and the Sixth Doctor's faces, but in Remembrance of the Daleks, I can remember him saying, "You have changed again. Your appearance is as inconstant as your intelligence." And then in The Stolen Earth, he was saying, like, your voice is different and yet its arrogance is unchanged. Yeah, that just pretty much shows how Davos wasn't too keen on the Doctor's previous faces. And I just think it's a nice change to show that he likes this new face, played by Peter Capaldi. And that moment where he's playing back the moments that they met during the classic and David Tennant era, I thought that was a brilliant touch, especially with the quote from Genesis of the Daleks that the Fourth Doctor made, like, if someone who knew the future pointed out to a child and told you that child would grow up totally evil, to be a ruthless dictator who would destroy millions of lives, could you then kill that child? And that's pretty much, like, to me, that's like the whole point of the episode. Like, could the Doctor actually do it? Could he really kill the child of his archenemy? Yeah. And they even do a good mention to the Time War, like saying how the Doctor thought that their argument about whether or not the Davos was right to create the Daleks ended in the Time War, or whether it survived the Time War, because Davos knew that that argument survived the Time War, because the Doctor and Davos are still having that argument even today. Like, Davos feels that he was right to create the Daleks, and the Doctor knows that he was wrong to create them. And then when Clara and Missy go off and explore, like, somehow walk into mid-space and discover that they're on another planet, and the reveal of the planet they were on, which was Skara, was just so well done, like camouflaging the entire planet except for that one building to look like it's a space station, and then just revealing the mountains and the buildings. That was just awesome. Even though I never watched the very first Dalek story, I have seen pictures of the original Skaro city from that episode, and I just thought it was really brilliant how they revealed Skaro there. And then the classic Dalek from 1963 showing up. That was awesome. That was like a moment from Classic Who. That was a Classic Who moment. Another one of the fan-pleasing moments that were in this episode. And then the Doctor... No, not the Doctor, sorry. It's Clara and Missy are taken to the Dalek command room, and where they're greeted by the Supreme Dalek, who is the same Supreme Dalek from Journey's End and Stolen Earth, along with loads of bronze Daleks, Dalek Sec, which I'm assuming is supposed to be a Dalek commander, and many classic Daleks, and they even brought back the Special Weapons Dalek again. And it was shown that they captured the TARDIS and intended to destroy it, but Missy, being the Master, aka Missy, tries to convince the Daleks that they could use the TARDIS to slaughter millions through different time zones, but the Daleks decide to kill her anyway. And that moment where Davos was saying, like, how the Daleks wanted Clara to run because of their instinct to kill, like they needed her to run to fulfill their instinct, like hunt and kill. I just thought that was brilliant, and when Clara actually did run, they really did exterminate her. And then Davos saying, like, let this be my final victory, let me hear you say it once, compassion is wrong. It's like he's trying to get the Doctor to admit that he was wrong to save Davos if it would cause the death of millions. And then the Daleks attempt to destroy the TARDIS, and then we cut back to young Davos and the Doctor showing up from the future, attempting to save his friends the only way he could, which was putting out a Dalek gun and then shouting out, "Exterminate!" I honestly thought that The Magician's Apprentice was one of the best Doctor Who stories I've ever seen in a while. I think it even topped Death in Heaven and Dark Water. I think it's that good. And like I said, there's a lot of fan-pleasing moments in that episode, like the Russell T Davies monsters and Davos coming back and showing a young Davos. That was really unexpected for me, and even though I never read any of the audio dramas, and I know that we did hear about Davos' childhood through the audio dramas I, Davos, even though I never really listened to them, but I did hear about them. So I think it's great to see a child version of Davos within the TV series. And the actors, Peter Capaldi, always brilliant as the 12th Doctor. He really puts his effort into it, especially when he's doing the rock and roll kind of thing with the electric guitar, the tank and the cool shades. That is just hilarious. And Jenna Coleman as Clara Oswald, yeah, she did play a really good part in it. She's still the Clara Oswald we knew, who's still kind of getting over Danny's death. Like, they even bring it up when she meets up with Missy for tea or coffee or whatever the hell it is they have, like, boyfriend still dead? Yeah, he's still dead. Yeah, that was quite funny and yet also quite heartbreaking as well. Like, it almost seemed like Missy was kind of making fun of it. And Michelle Gomez as Missy, aka the Master, as I said, she's brilliant. I absolutely love her. It's almost like she's the main companion of this story, even though Clara's the real companion. It just seems like Missy is the main companion for this story because she gets the most funny lines to say, she does the most things, she's like the most active, and Davos himself is awesome to see him again. And I was really glad that they brought back Julian Bleach to play him, because I don't think anyone could have played Davos better than Julian Bleach. I mean, he's the best follow-up to Terry Malloy. And even though the actor hadn't played Davos since 2008, and the 2008 Doctor Who at the proms, he still got it. He can still play the character, and he just plays the character so brilliantly. Yeah, Julian Bleach is the best Davos in my opinion. Yeah, and even though he doesn't really do much, like he just stays in one place for that one episode, and then he's still a very menacing presence. His presence is really, really menacing, like in all the other Davos stories. Even though he's not moving or doing a lot much, just sitting there playing recordings and talking to the Doctor, he's still really menacing. And I'm really glad that they brought him back. And the Daleks, once again voiced by Nicholas Briggs, they were brilliant. Even though they didn't show up until near the end of the episode, they were still a brilliant presence in the episode. Like I said, with that classic Dalek showing up in Skaro to take Clara and Missy prisoner, that was awesome. That really did feel like a classic episode of Doctor Who, even though I didn't watch that many classic episodes. But it was really like a classic Who moment. And all those Daleks that show up in the control room, it was just awesome to see those classic Daleks again. And you may remember I talked about the Dalek Asylum in my top 10, top 11, my top 11 Doctor Who Series 7 moments. When I talked about how the Asylum was kind of creepy and it was cool to see those classic Daleks again. But I feel that The Magician's Apprentice is Asylum of the Daleks done better. I mean, those classic Daleks, it was awesome to see them in that episode, but it didn't really do much. I mean, we saw them in the background. I mean, we saw the 60s Daleks, some 80s Daleks, and even the Special Weapons Daleks, but they don't really do much. I mean, the Bond Daleks just stole the episode from them all. Yeah, so Magician's Apprentice is Asylum of the Daleks done right. I mean, the classic Daleks don't just show in the background doing nothing, they actually get involved with everything. Like, even the Special Weapons Dalek actually talks for once. Like, if you remember Remembrance of the Daleks, then the Special Weapons Dalek didn't talk. And I was always under the impression that it could talk, but it never did talk in the episode. So I thought it was awesome to hear the Special Weapons Dalek contributing to what the Daleks have to say. And I think it's great to see the Supreme Dalek from 2008 again. I know some people who don't really like that design for the Supreme Dalek. I'm assuming it's because he's red, but I honestly like that version of the Dalek, the Supreme Dalek. I mean, it's quite an interesting take on the Supreme Dalek design, like 3 lights and bigger gold platings, and how he's taller than the other Daleks. I mean, that's a really interesting design for him. And with the Bronze Daleks, the Time War Daleks, there's a mixture between the Asylum of the Daleks onwards Daleks and 2005 to 2010 Daleks, like the weathered Bronze Daleks. There's a bit of a mixture between the two. And of course the Dalek sex model's back. And I've always been under the impression that the Dalek sex model in the episode was supposed to be like a Dalek commander, like someone who commands the battlefront, while the Supreme Dalek controls Daleks behind enemy lines. Sort of like how armies work. Like, there's a general that operates behind the lines, and then there's captains and all that go in front of the line. So I kind of see the Dalek sex model as that, and I do really see the Black Dalek as a Dalek leader, like a army leader, because I think because even from the classic series, some of the Daleks were different colours to show their different ranks. Like, the Supreme Daleks were always a different colour from the other Daleks, and the Imperial Guard Daleks had the black domes. Yeah, so I think the Dalek set model makes a very good Dalek commander, like someone who commands the armies for the Supreme Dalek, while the Supreme Dalek controls the army from behind the lines. So yeah, yeah, Magician's Apprentice is a really good episode to me. I think it's one of the best episodes this year so far, even though it's only the first one. And I can't really sum it up too much. Like, I can't give it a proper rating because it's only part one of the two-parter story. But from the Next Time trailer, I'm really looking forward to The Witch's Familiar. Like all two-parter stories, the first part sets up the whole story, and then we get all the excitement for the second part. So I'm really looking forward to the Witch's Familiar. But for now, I give The Witch's Apprentice a 10 out of 10 so far. That could all change with The Witch's Familiar, or it could remain the same, but for now I give The Magician's Apprentice 10 out of 10. So guys, you may have wanted to hear my thoughts on Doctor Who Series 9 Episode 1 of The Magician's Apprentice, and that's my thoughts of it. Yeah, and for those of you who loved the episode 2, then I definitely suggest watching it over and over again until this Saturday, because it's definitely one of the best episodes this year in my opinion, even though we've only just started. So, Magician's Apprentice, 10 out of 10, best episode so far, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheerio.